A happy Monday, a happy new week, and a happy new day to you, dear viewer. Thank you for keeping faith with us in this amazing television station, Western Spring Television. And this is Morning Spring right here on the station. This is the platform where we say things as they are, as it is, right here. We bring you, make you abreast of the situations around you right here, Morning Spring, and then that's through the headlines right there, and then to bring you quality analysis from the mouths of our analysts. My name is Timitope Ajijola Oluwaola, and it's been an interesting time. I hope you had a very restful and wonderful weekend. Good morning, Femi.
Good morning, Tope. Thank you. It's another Monday.
Yes.
The first day of the working week. And so good to be back here, actually. Hope your weekend was good.
Yeah, yes, it was. It was restful.
Restful, okay. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. Thank you for joining us on Morning Spring. We'll look through the headlines of the various dailies. We then get talking about issues in as much as worth talking about. Femi Ojo is my name. And it's been a very busy, eventful weekend. But let's go straight to the papers, and that will be now. So, this morning we have the Daily Sun, the Nigerian Tribune, the Guardian, and the Punch. The Daily Sun, the Nigerian Tribune, the Guardian, and the Punch newspaper. Before that, I remember one of the controversies of the weekend was the former Kaduna State governor, who has been, more like on the neck of the NSA. And the latest in that series was the allegation of importation of harmful, a killer chemical substance. And he said he had the information and it was brought into the country, some kilograms, 6 or 7 kilograms on the order of the NSA. And he's calling on the NSA to explain what is that for. Is it brought into the country under the real name of that chemical? Number 2, what is it for? Number 3, when it was brought in, did they do every necessary thing? Because they say it's odorless, it's colorless, and all of those things. To what end? And one will wonder why Arufai is saying these are the, and he said he's doing it in good faith. Actually, quite a time it was at the weekend.
And also at the weekend was that massive abduction in Kwara State. I think we're really in a very terrible time, because I just wonder, when I saw that, it makes people wonder what was the promise the Tinubu administration made when they were taking the oath of office, when he in particular was taking the oath of office. What was the APC promise when they took over from Jonathan those years ago? All of the criticisms that came to Jonathan as a president, they are there now. The APC administration has been there 2 times now, back to back. I'm talking about different administrations now, and both serving, at least one served 2 terms. And now this other person is on his 3rd year. What was your promise? All the criticisms you laid on the previous administration, what have you done differently? I ask myself, what has the Tinubu administration achieved glaringly so far in 3 years? A government that consistently fails at the protection of lives and property is a government that knows not what they are doing. Is a government that needs not be there. I mean, if you don't know what your job is, you don't know what your job description is, what are you doing? It keeps coming back. This is a time where we should have the parliament raining fire and brimstone on the government. That is what their job is at this time. But we have a parliament that goes on recess in a time like this. No, that's not even to say you shouldn't go on recess, but you should know what the times are calling for. These are very dangerous, perilous times, trying times for Nigerians. And we call ourselves, a sovereign nation. We call Nigeria a sovereign nation. What are we doing? Insecurity is not something we've been getting. We've been getting it back to back. Previous administrations, several administrations before now. And it is terrible even now, more terrible now. So what are we doing as a nation? Security is something we should be getting. If we cannot get something as basic as security of lives and property, then how do we work on education? How do we work on health? How do we work on other things?
All right.
These are just questions that are, bugging the minds of many Nigerians, bugging their minds every single day. Who's going to be next? Which community is going to be next? It's Kwara today. It's Niger today. It's Kaduna today. It's Benue today. Which state will be next if the government doesn't take action?
These questions and more.
A lot.
What we should be asking and calling for accountability, swift and urgent, persistent intervention of everyone on this matter, especially in this case, the government of the day, led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, every state governor, every local government chairman. Now, let's start with the Daily Sun right now. Daily Sun, Labour furious over 3 trillion naira bailout plans for power. Labour furious over 3 trillion naira bailout plans for power. With rider claims money moved to settle the boys ahead of 2027. Demands reversal of privatization. Claims money move to settle the boys ahead of 2027. Demands reversal of privatization.
It's been a decade of privatization. We don't know what gains we've made so far. Even worse now.
All right, I understand your, this outburst this morning. Everybody will be worried because you talk about power and then you can, well, all power belongs to God. Insisting on real-time transmission will plunge Nigeria into crisis. Senate. All right. Away from that, ADC knocks Tinubu for attending fishing festival amid escalating terror attack. There is 1,300 Nigerians reportedly killed in the last 41 days. The president was in Kebbi State over the weekend for commissioning a project, and of course, he extended his visit, his stay to the annual Argungu Fishing Festival. And why that might be a good thing is a good thing actually, but some will call him out, and rightfully so, to say, how come you have time to attend a wedding just a few days ago of one of your comrades, ministers in Abuja? The other day, it was, at the weekend, it was in Argungu. But what has Kwara people done that they don't deserve your visit? In spite of the constant and terrible attacks on part of that particular state, especially Kwara. And by the way, I wonder what the president and his handlers will say in their defense to that, because that means you go attend a wedding. You're in the country. It's another thing if you're not in the country. Does that mean you only go to fun fairs and festivities while you delegate for more serious business of the state? If you ask me, it's not the way it should be. And I wonder what his excuse would be. And many persons are saying that's unfair and totally, in the words of so many persons, irresponsible, actually, because he could do better commissioning a project. The same plane that took you to Kebbi State couldn't take you to Kwara State. I think optics, as they say, and perception is very key in this state. The president will not carry AK-47 or 49, but he needs to sympathize with these people. But whenever something happens, before he went to Yelwata, the whole country was almost shouting.
I was going to point that out. He just went to Benue. He went on a courtesy visit. He didn't visit the people.
Before he went to Benue, right, I think that's the right word. You are right, because he didn't go to Yelwata. He only stopped in Makodi for a few hours.
And then you're talking about the president. What about the governor of Kwara State himself? He has been
It was in Abuja.
It was
to show
knocked severally. I mean, it's still in the same, set of papers that we're going to take today where, people knocked him for campaigning when you have terrible security matters on your hands in your country. I mean, in your state, rather. That's that. Then two, about the disparate figures that they've been giving out. I mean, when that abduction, came about, you're talking about 75 persons were abducted. Meanwhile, another report says 175 or so of people were abducted. Several issues. How we've outsourced, our reportage to terrorists to give us the true picture of things. It is just terrible. So when we're talking about the president, how about the person that is even living, amongst those people? The governor. Terrible situation right here that we are seeing. But the people can learn. This is just a wake-up call to you, for you, so that you will know the crop of leaders, the next crop of leaders you're going to put, over your affairs, over your security, the security of your life, of your property, and to deliberate on your matters at the National Assembly.
All right. That will be the choice of the people, absolutely. All right. Now, Michael Jackson, I remember in 1995, one of his classics that I love is that 1995 song, They Don't Really Care About Us, actually. It was for a different purpose at the time. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. So I think that song is still relevant at this time. And I'm not even talking about political parties. Leaders in Nigeria don't seem, many leaders, let me say, put it that way, many leaders don't seem to really
all about
bother
themselves.
Really, they don't bother. Because you won't tell me the president who will attend the wedding of Matawale and his, family wedding, and less than a week or thereabout, he was in Argungu in Kebbi State. Kwara has been severely, severely, constantly hit in the past 2-3 months. And no visit, no single visit. Doesn't show like those in charge, starting with Mr. President. There are rules guiding this profession of ours, but then
I think we should also
it is to
ask
still is the focus is that we have the constitutional backing to say it as it is and to hold government accountable, and that's what we are doing right now. It doesn't sound, that's not how to be responsible.
The lawmakers representing these constituencies or these communities where these things happen, have they been there?
Let's move ahead. Right. 8 states earmark 31 billion for legislators, houses, cars, furniture. Again, 8 states earmark 31 billion for legislators, houses, cars, and furniture. And here, Cross River, well, no need to bother about that. It has become abnormally normal.
What they say in Yoruba language, you sell, you no sell. The employee must collect money.
Must collect money, yeah. Government employee, actually. Cross River listed as oil producing state as federal government's interagency committee submits report to RFAC, and 5 killed, 4 injured in a Boeing mining collapse. And there are pictures here. The top one has to do with Tagbo KK and Kanye Chukwu Tagbo KK, holder of Guinness World Record of painting the largest canvas ever, briefing Lagos State Governor Sanwo-Olu on his upcoming Guinness World Record breaking cycle ride from Enugu to Lagos to mark 2026 World Autism Awareness Month in
Talking
Lagos.
about solutions journalism, well, this is just one of those bright times, one of those brightening stories, spirit-lifting stories that we see on the papers, and you know that in some parts of the world, and in its own little way, goodness is still spreading, light is still spreading, good news is still out there, and this is kudos to Tagbo KK himself, the Lagos State government, and Nigeria as a whole, and to talk about autism and what it portrays, and that's just hope to people that no matter what, you can still be whoever you dream or aspire to be.
And not just autistic people.
Yeah.
People that are handicapped in one situation or the other, either mentally or physically. So if you put your mind at it, and if there is a community of support,
good,
you will do well, actually, because that's key. You know, support is key.
Inclusion.
2023 mistake we want to repeat in 2027. Obi, step down for Tinubu. It is not Southeast Turn, Umahi. Okay. I thought Minister Umahi is the Minister who works. Actually, former governor. So who made him the spokesperson for the Southeastern people to say you should step down?
Yes.
Okay, in which capacity is it? But by the way, you know, when you are eating, you must be very hygienic with the table.
The same man that was speaking last week, and you know, it was all over the news because the perception, the courage, the things he was saying were just poor, and it's still what is reflecting in this as well. You know, irresponsibility at its height.
That will be all from the Daily Sun.
All right, let's go to Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Very full, bulky right there. The banner headline says, NLC demands new power sector roadmap. And couple of riders, several riders. Calls for National Stakeholder Summit. Says 10 years after privatization, Nigeria still in darkness. Queries federal government's plan to pay 3 trillion naira to Gencos. Reiterates its condemnation for banned dichotomy. Insists electricity not a luxury for the rich. Insists electricity not a luxury for the rich. You can find that particular story right there on page 2 of Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Economists lock arms over utility of money as INEC proposes 873.78 billion naira election budget. Page 12 has that report. Proviso to real-time e-transmission of polling unit results. Why majority of legislators may not return in 2027, Igini says. Page 24 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. 2027 election timetable, electoral bill top agenda as Senate reps reconvene tomorrow. KDI tackles Senate over removal of 10-year disqualification for vote buying. KDI tackles Senate over removal of 10-year disqualification for vote buying. Femi, do you not wonder why that would just crop up in all of this electoral reform thing that, you know, our legislators are talking about? What's the use? I mean, to what end are you removing a 10-year disqualification for vote buying? To what end? Are you sympathetic toward vote buyers? And did you do that for vote sellers as well? I mean, it's just a lot of issue.
It's really messed up, actually.
Terrible.
And you wonder the intention. It's a criminal case, right? Like really disturbing the whole process and you know, making a mess of the credibility that's supposed to be the hallmark of the process. And so, if there is a buyer, there should be a seller. So, two of them, they are culpable, okay? And while we are trying to do everything to discourage the system from engaging, and you know, the people involved in that are engaged in this transaction, vote trading or whatever it's called, because there is a buyer, there is a seller.
Yeah.
And they're saying, okay, from 2 years, maybe that's not working. Let's extend it to 10 years, because we are not saying we are going to kill them. We only say so that everybody will be very scared to do all that. The Senate says 10 years is too, and it's not that they will even go to prison. No, they are saying ban them for 10 years from voting, meaning for the next 10 years they won't be able to vote, just voting. And your senators, they said no. 2 years is okay, even if you cut them. 2 years is okay. So instead of the 2 million naira fine, you can take the money to 10 million naira. So what does it mean? If somebody can buy vote, definitely there is a money back who has given that person or those people the money to buy the vote. So
I remember
meaning,
the clause
if
about
you are
them
caught,
too. Yes.
no problem. We will pay the money. Next time, you buy the vote.
Remember the clause about vote buyers, where it has to be some certain kilometers away from the polling station, right? So even if it is around, even if it is at the polling station or whatever, it may not matter. It may not be vote buying. You know, that particular one around that. But now talking about this,
No, I think it's the reverse, meaning if that happens around maybe whatever meters, then it's vote buying. But if it happens
away from,
how can you determine if it's vote buying? I might just be dashing you some money for looking nice.
Some money. All right.
Okay.
Very terrible.
They call it encouragement. They call it transport fare.
And one very, very important question is this 2 years. I mean, the former 2 years. I mean, the 2 years that you're talking about, this disqualification. When does it start to read? Is it immediately after that election, or when we are close to another election? So more like you will not be allowed to vote in the next electoral cycle.
You see, the little I know about jurisprudence and law, it's this 2 year sanction is not slammed by INEC. It's slammed by the court. That is if that person is convicted. No these and no peace. So meaning if that person has been convicted after back and forth and election petition, whatever, it starts to count. I mean, that vote, 2 years. This is what I'm trying to say. Hold on. If the case will take 3 months. Or 6 months. I don't know, maybe there is an end to election, whatever. Let's say it takes 1 year. Because if there is a money bag that is sponsoring it, be rest assured that they will frustrate the case very well. They will first talk about jurisdiction for 6 months. The case will be postponed for so many times. So let's even imagine that
courts will go on.
The slammy, if the person is convicted, don't be too negative, for 1 year. So it means from the first day that person is charged, that's when the sentence will have start counting. And every sentence doesn't start
when the judge is given.
You will date it back from the first time that person is taken to police station to be charged.
So the person may just not even go to court. Prison at all.
It's as easy as that, because that means.
So what's the essence of the trial?
That's why your people are saying 2 years is okay. Have you not been told severally, Tokwe, that in politics nothing is random? I think this one should confirm. Nothing is random. Anything politicians are involved with is calculated. So meaning that 2 years, the guy might not even be affected in any way. Because those boys you see, or those girls, or when you go for a report and you see them involved in these things, do they look like they are the ones buying it for themselves? No. That's why sometimes you see 4 million, 5 million, and the person carrying it doesn't look like who has it. Somebody has given such person. He's doing somebody's work. So if that person is caught, and before they will say, who is involved, before your Bible will say, before you somebody will tell you, no, hold on, shush it. We'll get a lawyer, and the case, it will even be, let's go. And
you wonder why many people were sympathetic towards Emefiele with that cashless thing that he brought about. But let's not go
Although
back.
His own intention is another thing.
We know that, but many people...
And you can't build something on
the 40... Okay. On page 22, PDP Labour Party missing as INEC releases Osun governorship candidates details. PDP lawmakers adopt Accord Party, endorse Adeleke. PDP lawmakers adopt Accord Party, endorse Adeleke. All right. Moving to the top strip of the paper, Nigeria Tax Act 2025 does not impose 25% tax on building materials. Oyedele debunks Amechi's claim. Alleged imported toxic chemicals, Ribadu, replies El Rufai. And those are the headlines right there on Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning.
Just a quick one from The Guardian. Port users pay more as NCS recreates multiple FX regime at 7% margin. That's the Customs Service. Port users pay more as Nigeria Customs Service recreate multiple Forex regime at 7% margin. And there are stats to that. The Customs Service has left the exchange rate for assessing tariffs and other charges at 1,451.6 per dollar, naira per dollar, a band that is 98.8 naira above the spot rate and nearly 100 naira premium on the weekly average official rate. Away from that, Afenifere raises alarm over persistent terror attacks, abductions, and CPP decries 10 trillion naira yearly loss by MSMEs to employee corruption and fraud, and Kwara governor under fire for campaigning while terrorists raid community. He should be under whatever you can put him right now. Because what I used to say is, when you uneasy last year that wear the crown. Some of you will say you borrow money, you campaign, you do ushers in church, you know, just to garner votes and be in position. And when you now have this, in as much you enjoy the perks of office. And many of those state governors or officials, when they leave, they enjoy almost the same thing as they were enjoying while they are in office, especially the two-time governor, still deaf.
It's a little difference.
Still deaf. Stewards, medical care, change of cars almost every 3 years, 100% of their current salaries, allowances, all of those things, still deaf. Now, the basic duty of securing the people, you cannot even pretend like you are doing. So how will he campaign? Should the governor of Kwara State be seen? If there's anything called campaign in Kwara State, the governor or any governor should be telling the people, please slow down. Not at this time, irrespective of whatever is happening right now. But it is just why I had to cite that 1995 hit track by Michael Jackson. They
in
don't
Canada
care
recently, there was a shooting, in school. And firstly, the Prime Minister had to shelve his travel. His scheduled travel. He cancelled it. 2, the flag was brought at half-mast and there was a national day of mourning declared. This is not even, I'm not trying to say that even one life is not significant. I'm saying that little, I want to really choose my words carefully. Few numbers of persons were lost, which was very important to that country at the time. We're talking about Nigeria that has, Nigeria is an emergency. If there was an alarm, it will be blinking red, doing pum, pum, pum every single day. We've not rested in years, in decades, and we have.
Can you leave the decade alone? Let's talk about 2026 alone.
Good.
Really?
2026 is just.
Do you know how many things have happened?
Yes.
This year, and it's just a lot.
Our
right
president
now.
still finds it easy. A father is losing children every day.
They could attend Argungu Fishing Festival, and the president couldn't see what is happening.
Yeah. There was another incident in Kano where the fire got the businesses of some traders. The president was not there. It was Shetima. Shetima is, I think we should find another title for Shetima.
Did you know something similar? Did you know something similar happened with Buhari as well? That was Osinbajo that was almost turned to monarch-in-chief.
Oh, well, when
maybe it's part of the VP.
When we lost cows in one of the northern states, the president was there.
What?
Was there
when you lost
immediately.
What? Cows?
Yes.
Tax Act rather. Presidency fought Amichi's claim on 25% bank deduction rule. All right, they will have time for that. PMS supply hits 63 million liters per day as consumption falls to 60.2 million in January. And data shows 10-year capital funding gap in health sector. Data shows 10-year capital funding gap in net sector. So what that means in primary school boy language is the fact that the kind of investment we're having now is showing that for the past 10 years, we have not really done what we're supposed to do as far as capital investment in health. So that's a 10-year gap of serious capital investment, all right? And NLC alleges federal government planning to settle the boys with 3 trillion naira electricity subsidy and mixed reactions to a report that the U.S. troops' arrival amid fresh attacks. AU Summit, Nigeria backs reforms, regional security measures. I'll be on from the Guardian.
All right, the Punch newspaper. Let's begin with that one there beside the nameplate. Ex-INEC chiefs demand real-time results transmission as NAS panel meets. These are ex-chairmen of INEC. They have been there. They know what obtains. And even now, even they are calling for real-time transmission. And the Senate is saying, we worked with data that we received, we worked with data to say that they should remove that real-time transmission. They also said in one of the papers we've taken earlier that there will be chaos on our hands. There will be a lot of problems on our hands if we allow that real-time transmission to fly. But these are people who have been in the know, who knows the system, who worked closely in that capacity as chairman of INEC. And they're saying that we're also backing other Nigerians that are calling for real-time transmission at this time. We don't know who is more knowledgeable in this talks, but then that's what the Punch newspaper says, and you can find that story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. The banner headline says, emergency plenary, National Assembly moves to shift presidential poll to February 13. Senate House recall lawmakers from recess again to review 2026 electoral bill again on Tuesday. And this directly tied to the headline there, presidential poll to hold earlier over Ramadan overlap. Many people begin to wonder, what has Ramadan got to do with voting? You can do Ramadan and you can do your voting alongside. None has to affect the other. But this is our situation. This is where we found ourselves. And we'll be seeing to that in the coming days.
It's not even only Ramadan. The Lent.
He's also going to be there. Well. Good. So what has those, got to do with election? A question for you to, ponder upon. Right. And we can see that Gary sites there of the building. Shatima leads federal government delegation to Kano after devastating market fire. You can see people there. You can see the police on ground. You can see the destroyed building right there. To the bottom strip, Tinubu's Adamawa visit reignites Venturi's defection rumors. Insecurity, lawmakers split over Ndume's support for U.S. troops deployment. Kwankwaso returns from India trip amid U.S. sanctions threat. Those are the headlines making the face of the Punch paper this morning. Well,
before we leave this segment, you talked about Canada the other time.
Yes.
And I remembered, having a report on that, where that mass shooting that made Mark Carney as a PM, another Canadian PM, to shelve his visit, happened to the loss of life there. The casualty figure was 9. The shooter killed.
I remember they gave a bogus figure in the first place. Just by one, they eventually rescinded and said the actual figure.
Sadly, killed his mother and I think his brother or sister. They said he had a mental breakdown or something and killed the person. Conservatively put the number at 9, right? And it happened in a place called Tumbler Ridge.
Yeah.
Okay, and Tumbler Ridge has a population of 2,400.
Yes.
Less than Agumbelewu. Yeah, let's put it in the right context. We are talking about Kwara State, some part of Kwara State, because traversing local governments, Tumbler Ridge has a population of less than 2,400 people. That's less than Agumbelewu's population. And the PM shelved his visit. In fact, it was reported as one of the worst mass shooting in the history of Canada. Yeah. How do we report what is happening in Nigeria? All right, let's go on. That's why I had to just bring that. I had to just bring that up.
Good.
For everybody to know that you are not even talking about a local government, not a state, not even a big town. 2,000, that's more like a stretch of maybe a street in Lagos, just a stretch, considering the densely,
of the
population size of
Nigeria. I can tell you about 15 have been constantly hit by terrorists. The whole northern states. And the whole northern states make what?
And not just the visit, he said, flag should be flying.
Yes, at half-mast. Yes.
That shows, in spite of that, you still see people criticizing people around that place saying, why they know that you are doing your best, we could do more. Meaning, they can't take mediocrity. They know they can't afford to take But here, somebody will tell you, should you carry gun?
Imagine this crop of lawmakers in Canada. They will not do it.
No.
They won't do ours. They'll be gone.
They will not even emerge.
Wow.
Let's start from there. All right, let's take a quick break. 2,400 people lost, size community lost 9 persons and everything was shut down in Canada. But here we are even saying, how do we even know the number? Because the official figures are claiming 70-something.
In Africa.
Boko Haram are saying
Union Summit. We can't even do reform in our own courts. Just a sector election. Electoral reform.
This is
not
Monday.
The whole of
this is Monday.
Constitution.
It should not really be a day of rant, actually.
We're ranting.
So let's go on this quick break. When we return, we speak to these issues. And trust us, it will still be on security.
Yeah.
Stay with us.